Hey, what's going on, everyone? Jake here with this week's episode of What's New with Tackle Warehouse. Fall bite is just right around the corner. I got a bunch of awesome stuff for you today to check out. The first set of baits here is from Azuma. We got a bunch of stuff from them. I just want to highlight a couple for you today. The first one is the new Bray Z Suspending Jerkbait. It's a small, about 4.5 inch jerkbait, but it's awesome. It casts a mile. It's got a weight transfer system in it, and then it's precisely weighted so it perfectly suspends, when you stop it. So you get that super wild, erratic darting action, and you can just pause it and it'll just sit right there in the water column. Fish can't resist that. It's gonna be deadly here up here in the next few weeks when the fish start schooling shad up in the back of pockets. All right, the next one is their new square dance crankbait, or square bill crankbait, I'm sorry. What's awesome about this crankbait, it's a 3/8 crankbait, but it casts like a 5/8 ounce crankbait. And what's also cool about it is it's super buoyant, and because it's a little bit lighter weight, you can run this thing through heavy cover and it deflects and bounces off cover almost like old school balsa crankbaits. So it doesn't dig in and and get snagged up as much. So great crankbait for going through heavy cover, timber, over the tops of grass. Check out the new square dance there from Azuma. All right, the next one is their Wake Z wake bait. As you can see here, nice wide body design. Super buoyant. You can run this thing over the top of all types of cover. It'll only go down about a foot if you crank it down really fast on a high-speed reel. One unique feature that you can see on this is the bill on here has got these two small holes on it. So what this does is it'll create kind of a bubble trail behind the bait. So a little bit more action, and then it's going to also help it stay tuned at highest speed. So some wake baits, you crank them real fast and they'll roll over and they'll blow out. Not going to happen with this one. So you can run it on the highest speed reel you got. Not going to have any problems with it. Super loud rattle, so I mean it's going to call fish in from a distance. So check out the new Wake Z. Last topwater we got is their new Popper Z popper. Another awesome topwater bait. It's a little bit larger than most of your standard topwater poppers, but one of the cool things I noticed about this, it's got a really wide mouth and a really deep throat. So what that does is you get a little bit more aggressive, a little deeper popping action, a little deeper gurgling sound here. So it's a little bit more aggressive than most of your poppers. So if you're looking for something that's going to make a little bit more noise, cause a little bit more commotion, and just draw more strikes, definitely check out the new Popper Z. All right, from Andy's Custom Bass Lures. All right, you guys all know Andy's Custom Lures. He makes some awesome hand-tied jigs. So now we got his new football jig. Now this is a football jig, but it's also got a flat bottom on it. So you drag this thing along the bottom and you stop it, it's going to keep your bait pointed perfectly upward in that natural defensive crawdad position. And as always, like all the Andy's Custom baits, hand tied with that old school flat cut rubber with a mixture of the flat cut rubber and silicone on there. So you get some phenomenal color combinations, and then you get that awesome slow pulsating action that you get with the live rubber, or the flat cut rubber, I'm sorry. So also gonna be a great one for real cold water temperatures here coming up in wintertime when you need that jig to just sit there and get that secondary action from the skirt. This is definitely going to be the one to go with. All right, next up from Warbaits, we got the new the weedless underspin jig head. So the Warbaits underspin's already been out for a little while. Now they got a weedless model, so you can run this through grass, run it through laydowns and bushes and anything you want to fish it through. As you guys know, I love the Warbaits head design. I feel like this is one of the best swim bait head designs out there on the market. This thing comes over all types of structure phenomenally. I use them out there in the salt water, and they come through jagged rocks like you wouldn't believe. So if you're looking for an underspin that you can run through cover and run through grass and stuff, definitely check out the new Warbaits weedless underspin. All right, we got a couple new ones from Nichols Lures. See if I can get this first one here. This new one is the first one is the new Skippin Shaken Head. So this is gonna be perfect for all you guys who like to skip up under docks, overhanging trees, anywhere where those bass are tucked up into cover. So you can see really flat bottom on here. I mean it's flat, round, it's just like a skipping stone. Then you got the corkscrew keeper on there, Gamakatsu hook, just an awesome shaky head, but able to reach way farther back into cover than you can skip with a traditional shaky head. Next up from Nichols Lures, we got the JT Kinney Magnum Ned Rig head. So Ned Rig has been blowing up the last few years. Now we're Nichols is upsizing it a little bit. Even got some heavier weight, so you can even throw this on bait casting equipment, and you don't need to use, light line on a spinning rod with this. Got a Gamakatsu hook on here as well. What's cool about these, they also have it in a weedless version as well. So most Ned rigs don't have the Weedguard on it. So definitely check these out if you're looking to upsize your Ned rig a little bit. All right, next up from G7, we got the new screw sinker nail weights. These are tungsten nail weights. If you guys have paid attention to our vlog series, you know, a couple years ago we did some vlogs with at the Spro Riders Conference with Shin Fukai, and he was using these things, and you know, everyone's been asking about them for years, wondering what they were and where can they get them, and now we finally got them in stock. So these are awesome tungsten nail weights for doing the Nico rig. What's cool about these is that the heavy threading on them. So these screw in and these do not come out, and plus they're tungsten, so you're going to add a lot more weight, or you got a lot more weight, and it's going to stay in a really small package. And what's cool about this one is that they have the straight design. So the straight one goes all the way into your worm, and then my favorite, the screw weight right here, it's got the small head on it. So you know, you have that little small head on there. It's almost going to act like a small jig head. So you're going to be able to feel, you know, tiny pebbles and differences in the bottom composition, and just, you know what you're, you know, ticking along the bottom. Plus you're going to get a little bit of noise out of it as well. So awesome new nail weights there from G7. All right, one that I think is going to be a little deadly little lure coming up here is the new Blakemore Live Shot Fry Pattern. So this is built on the standout drop shot hook. If you've ever used a standout drop shot hook, you tie on right here on this loop, then run your tag in through this eye, and it keeps your drop shot hook, you know, standing perfectly straight out every time. Now what's cool about this, it's got a little eye on here, and it's a little, you know, it's like a little hair jig. So you got a mixture of hair and flash material on there. So it's going to be kind of a replacement for you guys that are doing a lot of the float and fly kind of stuff. But now you're going to be able to tie this on a drop shot and be able to, you know, you can fish at 1 foot of water and then make next cast out in 30 feet of water. You're not going to have to adjust a leader length if you're doing a float. And it's going to be, I feel like it's going to be a little bit user friendly, since you're going to be able to tie it on a drop shot and not have to worry about, you know, running 10, 15 foot leaders or anything like that. So check that new Blakemore, the one out from Blakemore right there. All right, next up from Spro, another iCast release, we got the new RkStar Steelhead Jig. Now this was built for steelhead, but it's going to be deadly on bass, you know, largemouth, smallmouth, spotted bass. A lot more people are starting to realize how effective marabou jigs are. These are super cool. They come in 1/8 ounce and 1/4 ounce. They got a 2X Gamakatsu hook on there, so razor sharp hook. Never going to bend this thing out. And what's awesome about these ones, these steelhead jigs, come in a little bit different colors than most marabou jigs out there. Got like some purples and pinks and, you know, a few different color mixtures that most marabou jigs don't come in. So looking for a new little, you know, marabou jig, check out the Spro RkStar Steelhead Jig. All right, we got some new line from Berkley. Berkley released a bunch of line at iCast. We just got in the X9 braided line in the crystal color, which is their version of a white color. Now the X9 means it's a 9 carrier braid. So most braids are either a 4-strand or an 8-strand. This is actually a 9-strand. So it's gonna work a lot better over rugged terrain, jagged rocks, things like that, and it's not gonna get torn up as much because there's more strands and it's a lot smoother. Actually, when you feel this line, it doesn't even feel like braid at all. So if you're a fan of, you know, you're not a fan of braid because you don't like the roughness and the noise going through the guides, this is definitely going to be the way to go. I mean, it feels just as slick as a monofilament or fluorocarbon line. We got it in the white right now. It will be available in green as well. So but definitely check out the new line by Berkley. All right, last up, we got the new Daiwa Tatula rods in that we've been waiting for since iCast. So this is replacing the old Daiwa Tatula series. What I love about this rod, it's plain, simple. It looks phenomenal when you put it in your hand. It's all black, cork handle. What they did with this is they're using Daiwa's X45 SVF blank on here, so it's extremely lightweight. There's actually a braided X technology inside the blank, so it's going to prevent ovalization, give you a little bit more power, and it makes the rod a little bit lighter as well. So there's a new guide on this rod as well. There's a new Fuji Faz Light tangle-free guide. It's a phenomenal guide. It's going to allow you to make a much longer cast. Another cool thing about this rod is a custom Tatula reel seat on here. It's all black, looks super cool, but one thing, it's just super comfortable. So it's got a little bit different mold than most of your traditional reel seats. It fits super well in the hand. And the favorite thing I like about it the most is they went back to a full cork handle on there. So extremely comfortable. If you guys just like, you know, like a simple cork handle rod, I believe they got 21 models in this whole lineup. So they've got every application covered in it. And they come in from anywhere from about $149 to about $169. But just an awesome series of rods here by Daiwa. Make sure to check out the new Tatula series. All right, thanks for tuning in to watch this week's episode of What's New at Tackle Warehouse. For more information or to purchase products seen here today, please click shop or the link in the description below. If you enjoyed this week's video, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to our channel. Let us know in the comment section which one of these products you're most excited about.